are some ideas about easing up from the solo suite number 2. In general, I don't want a heavy sound, so I want everything to float, everything's kind of going and, coming back, but nothing is reaching a full stop. To handle some of the high stuff, you might want to imagine you're not playing super high notes. In other words, it sort of depends on where a note is, how I will feed the note. If I'm playing something like here, I'm better off not thinking, oh, I need to aim up to a high B. I'm better thinking of, well, maybe I need to aim up to just a middle D. What does that feel like? And then just play a B instead. Rather than this. And then it just sounds heavy and it's, I don't want that in my music. So I don't want that in any music, but just, this is the mood I'm going for. It's an elegant, there's a sheen on everything here. So the way it's composed, you can look, 25 is a new pattern. We hint at actually doing the opening bar at that forte subito in 24, but then I change gears on you like this. I'll go back to 21. Another thing, when you're reaching up, don't use your lips. In other words, if I'm doing this, don't do that. There I'm using everything, but even just the bottom lip should just remain. Oops, sorry, I played a B flat instead of an A flat. So when you're coming up the scale, so you hear how that was the same material I used at 28. It's the same idea, like I'm going to go back and do that whole section again, but I don't. Instead, I have a way of sneaking you back into measure 51 so that the downbeat of 51 should sound like, I don't know, it's like when you're a little kid and you fall asleep in the car and suddenly, your parents drive you in and how did I get here? It should be like you have arrived with a surprise, like this. And then I subvert the expectation that I'm just going to do what I did before, which would have been this. Instead, I give you an extra one of those little turns. And there at the end, again, I wouldn't reach. A lot of what's hard, I think, that people make hard about playing the flute is there's a tendency to overdo things. If there's a low note, they bear down on it. If there's a high note, they try to squeeze up to it. But if you pretty much treat all the notes on the flute like, the beads on an abacus, it's like they're all the same. You just want to reduce the amount of big body change. So, where's that? See, I'm not really doing very much. I'm not doing this. I don't want it gargantuanly loud. It's going to be a little loud because it's, you're going at the high B, but, take it easy. And then it should stop so that the rests have presence. The rests are part of the music. They're the most important part of the music. And then that sets you up to play the next movement, because this movement's kind of a, it's a questioning movement, and you're moving while you're thinking when you're playing this last movement.